Hello everyone, this is Adrian. And today we are going to look at a book which is Mindfulness 25 Ways to Live in the Moment Through Art. This book is by Christophe André, and he is a French psychiatrist known for integrating meditation into mindfulness and also for writing a lot of reflective books for the general public. This book has 25 chapters. Each of the chapters focuses on a European museum artwork or an artwork, which is printed in color print, and it is very high quality produced. And then he added some kind of narration, and also he write to guide us through appreciating the artwork and also for learning mindfulness practices. So, Andre wants us to learn mindfulness through art, but not through traditional classes or formal classes such as MBCT. Each chapter invites us to uh, appreciate a painting, to notice the details in the painting, and to observe our thoughts and our emotions. And then he will guide us through different lessons in mindfulness, such as breathing, present moment awareness, and many, many more. And he tries to introduce mindfulness to a casual reader, to the general public, using art. This is very different entry points from a standard mindfulness program like MBSR or MBCT, which is usually focusing on body scans, breathings, meditations, and also formal practices. However, Andres wants to offer an unconventional art-based mindfulness curriculum for casual readers, so people don't need to go to lessons, they can just learn mindfulness through reading his books. And and then instead of asking us to follow instructions like we listen to instructions, he tried to use art and guide us through using his words, and which is quite insightful and also it is very it is also very calm like a mindfulness instructor. For example, in an artwork teaching about person movement awareness, it says it won't be better or or not as good, it will just be different. Andre's approach of using art to bring people into mindfulness is consistent with a growing body of evidence on art-based mindfulness practices. So, art-based mindfulness practices, they use art instead of formal practices to learn mindful practices such as breathing, present moment awareness, intention awareness, and many more. In many ways, in theory, it is similar to normal mindfulness, but it uses art. It appreciate art. It make art and to do mindfulness like that. Studies of mindfulness-based art interventions and also MBAT, which is mindfulness-based art therapy, report reduction in stress, anxiety, and psychological distress across population, such as students, patients, and also trauma survivors. This is also consistent with findings in normal mindfulness-based interventions such as MBCT and MBSR. However, mindfulness-based art therapy is still not the mainstream, so there are limited body of evidence, and it is not as developed as our MBCT or MBSR. However, it is currently developing and is catching on, and also clinical programs, a lot of MBAT, combine meditations with art making, and also uh, appreciation have shown benefits in sleep, emotion regulation, and quality of life. So it has the potential to not only be as good as other mindfulness practices, but even be better than them. However, Andre is not a clinician nor a researcher, so he didn't present any evidence on art-based interventions and also using his form of art to reduce stress or achieve mindfulness practices results in his book. In his book, Andre emphasizes a lot on present moment awareness. He argues that we should not be too focused on the past and also the future. Quote unquote, these pointed things hinder our vision and connection to the world. And so, Andre proposed that we should instead focus on the present moment to liberate our mind from these harmful thoughts, he called, and to cherish every moment. This closely aligned with the theoretical foundations of structured programs such as MBSR and MBCT, which define mindfulness as paying attention on purpose to the present moment and also non-judgmentally. He also insists that art is a very good training ground for attention and also emotional literacy. He argues that appreciating painting through his way can help us to inhibit bodily impulses to rush on and to comment on those paintings, and to bring gentle awareness to our emotional reactions. Each artwork can become a practical lesson in mindfulness, and gradually leading the reader deeper into mindful ways, seeing and feeling the effects of mindfulness. Andres hopes that the readers can ditch the autopilot mode and bring themselves into sensory awareness, to adopt a witnessing stance towards their thoughts and feelings, of which these mechanisms were also discussed in neuropsychological and also clinical models of mindfulness. However, one point of Andre's work that may cause some debate is that he may have aestheticized mindfulness. By using European paintings and also Western style paintings, he grounded the practice in beautiful painting that may implicitly associate mindfulness with privileged cultural spaces and also Western artworks. Critics argue that this could marginalize those who lack access to such cultural capital, or those who does not resonate with European art traditions, raising questions about the universality of this method. This is more of a critique on the approach that Andre takes, but not a critique on art-based mindfulness therapy. There isn't much critique on art-based mindfulness therapy, and it is also very useful when compared to NBCT and NBSR. In conclusion, Andre delivers mindfulness in another perspective that we are not familiar with through art. Research have shown that art-based mindfulness practices are very effective, that they are comparable to traditional practices such as NBCT and NBSR. Besides, he also proposed that practicing mindfulness through art can help us to rely less on autopilot mode and build present moment awareness. However, some may criticize his approach for only accommodating for European, Western culture, making his take not universally adoptable. All in all, Andre Christopher introduced us to another way of practicing mindfulness, laying the groundwork for art-based mindfulness, as well as providing an informal but also informative way for casual readers to enter the world of mindfulness. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.